Good morning, welcome back. My name is Chrissy. This is 9 Little Aussies, where we are on a little plot of land here in East Texas, beginning to grow a little homestead and gardens and just live a simple, healthy life. That's our plan, our goal. Today, I am going to refill some bird feeders. We've got the red cardinals have been going nuts over this, which my beautiful neighbor Vicky gave me. And when she found out I loved the birds, and I've got some hummingbird feeders to set up because the kids have spotted a few hummingbirds, and we've been told that spring and fall they come through. So I'm assuming that is on their migration path and they're going north for the summer, and then in the fall they're coming back for before winter hits. I'm assuming that's what's happening, but we started seeing a couple. We saw heaps of them last autumn and it was just beautiful, such a treat, because we don't have hummingbirds in Australia. They're just so glorious. They're so tiny and vivid and I don't know, kind of shy, and they flit around, but they're so beautiful. So I'm very keen to have the feeders up for them. So the kids are excited. They've been begging me to do it. I probably should have done it about a week ago, but I'm getting to it today. I have a few different feeders here. We were given these two by some friends at the end of last season, and this one my husband picked up, I think at Tractor Supply or something. So I've got this feeder that I was given as well that you mix with water. Now, I have been told that some people say you shouldn't use this one. After we got it, we found out some people were saying it's not good for the birds. Other people were saying it is. So I'm really not sure. Definitely, if you have any knowledge around that, that would be great. I did try when last autumn, I put out some feeders just with sugar and water, but the hummingbirds didn't touch it. They didn't go anywhere near it. And then as soon as I used this, they loved it and went straight for it. So if there's a sugar water recipe, maybe I was doing it wrong or the ratios were wrong, but the hummingbirds did not. I just Googled it and looked up a recipe online, and the hummingbirds did not like it, or they weren't interested. So any recipes, any ideas about that, I'm open to hearing people's thoughts. I know it seems to be one of those things people have opinions on. So anyway, I am new to hummingbirds, so teach me. That'd be great. So this one says, no artificial dyes, promotes healthy eggshells, Bird Health Plus. Now, I am definitely aware that labels aren't always reliable. So added vitamins and calcium for better egg hatching. But you know, it could all be, it says naturally dyed with carmine. So I don't know what the issue is with the with this one. If anyone knows, that would be awesome. Or if anyone has any information that they actually have solid backing for, that would be really helpful, because I'm definitely new enough to this to be taken in by advertising if I'm not careful. So let me know. How pretty is this feeder? It's so pretty, and it's got all these little crystally things on it. So these people were moving house. You painting, honey?
Look what I drew.
Oh, that's very nice. Rainbow. Very nice. They were moving to Florida, I think, and we went over to that's right, we bought a chest freezer off them. And when we went over there to pick up the chest freezer, we got talking with them, and they said, hey, do you want some bikes for the kids? And so we took some bikes, and then they said, hey, do you want, like, it just went from one thing to the other, and we ended up coming home with a trailer full, and they wouldn't let us pay. They just wanted to gift it to us. It was amazing. I tell you, the Lord has done that so many times, where we've just seen, now I'm going to put this up here. So then when I'm standing in my kitchen, I can see the hummingbirds, hopefully. So pretty. All right, birdies, come and get it. So I'm going to use that feed at the moment because that's what I have. And I'll see what I learn, and I may change. We'll see. So we've got that one. We've got this one. So I might put this one over here so we can see when we're sitting at the table. And then that one over there. That little one on the corner. I've just come inside to make some morning tea, but I thought I'd show you. I'm so excited. My amazing husband has put screens on my windows, all through here and in my lounge room in the bay window. So I can finally leave not doors, we haven't got them on the doors yet, but I can leave the windows open, let the beautiful fresh air in and not get flies and mozzies. So I was so excited to have that done. Okay, I'm first just going to shape this bread. You know, something that I've thought about since filming so much in my kitchen and around my house is, you know, I do not have an Instagram worthy kitchen. But I don't know that I want one. And I have thought about this a lot. This is a bit cold because it's been in the fridge, hasn't got back to room temperature yet. So I'm just gonna fold it over a few times and then let it do a rise one last time. Okay, I'm just going to whip up some pikelets for the kids for morning tea. Pikelets are basically small pancakes they're a little bit thicker than a pancake maybe, but they're a very common Australian food that you go to, I don't know, a potluck or church morning tea or something like that, and someone somewhere will bring a plate of pikelets, and often with jam and cream. I guess it's kind of like scones, but these are flat. So like they're not scones as in they taste the same, but the same tradition of putting jam and cream, but you can put honey on them. My kids, some of them like Vegemite on them, whatever spreads you like, or just plain butter. So this recipe, I don't really follow the recipe anymore, but this was given to me and it's all lovely handwritten in a beautiful old style cursive. It was given to me, again, another recipe from our engagement party where people were asked to give recipes. This one was from Mrs. Adset, which was an old lady in the church, and she was so sweet. Her and her husband were the loveliest people. And actually her husband would turn wood, and he made me for a wedding gift this beautiful little hand-turned pin cushion that he had done the base of it with this beautiful wood and carved it. It was so pretty. And then the pin cushion on the top. And this was her recipe, and she was renowned as a good cook. So really the trick with this one was to put either sour milk or a teaspoon of vinegar in, and that made her, because her pikelets were the best in the church. Everyone loved her pikelets. So I'm going to make these for the kids this morning. Okay, so it's a cup of flour, and because I don't have self-raising flour, I'm just adding 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Okay, pinch of salt, maybe a generous pinch. Ooh. 2 tablespoons of sugar. I do always try and use organic when I can, because they have a lot of sprays on them otherwise. 3/4 teaspoon of, so just a little bit of bicarb soda, or baking soda I think it's called here, this one. And about a 1/2 cup of milk. Can't wait till we get our cow to get fresh, real milk. But for now, 1/2 cup of milk. And this is where, if I had it, I would add sour milk, especially if, you know, if we were in a situation where we had raw milk, I would sit some out on the counter, and you can make clabber, or which is just soured milk, and it would be perfect in this. So what I'm going to do for now instead is just the apple cider vinegar, just a teaspoon of that in the milk. Mix my dry ingredients. And you can see I'm just reusing the bowl, I didn't wash it, that I made the bread in, because it's just flour and water, and so I'm just reusing this before I wash the bowl. And I'm adding in about a dessert spoon of, about a tablespoon maybe, of melted butter. Now, Mrs. Adset's original recipe used margarine, but I ain't gonna do that. Butter it is. An egg. And the milk and vinegar mixture. I was just remembering as I was re-looking at this morning, she's written on the bottom of the recipe, this mixture is too thick, so add more milk. I just love the, you know, this is what baking should be. This is what kitchen life and home life and baking for a family and providing good food and then handing that knowledge down from one generation to the next should be all about. It's not about some pristine recipe in a fancy cookbook. It's about Mrs. Adset teaching me to make pikelets and adding a little note, now honey, this recipe is too thick, you're gonna need to add some more milk. Just practical little steps and tips that, you know, really, I think that's what we need more of in this culture. So I'm gonna add more milk. And that reminds me what I started talking about before. There are a lot of things out there with, you know, fancy farmhouse aesthetics on channels, and it is beautiful. I actually really love it. I find it inspiring. I follow a couple of channels that everything is very neat and tidy and beautiful and in place and gorgeous to look at, but I also am very aware of the I guess sort of the false expectations that can set up of really what it's like to have the kitchen as the hub of your home and the center of your home, and to be providing 3 nourishing meals a day for your family. It's not gonna look pretty all the time. It's just not. And I think it's very tempting, you know, when I'm setting up the camera to think, oh goodness, I need to tidy that, I need to put that away. I mean, and I don't, there's a balance, because, you know, we don't need to be living in a disordered chaos. And it is true that, you know, a home will tend toward disorder, especially the more people it has in it. This is about the consistency we're actually looking for. Not too runny, not too thick, just a good batter for these little pikelets. I'm just gonna mix it a little bit more, get some more of those lumps out. But there's a balance, excuse me, a balance between keeping a clean and tidy home, but also being functional and allowing the messes that are required when you are trying to do so many things from scratch. So I'm just going to show you like this. If I just quickly pan around my very less than perfect kitchen, and it is a nice kitchen and I try to keep it in order, but we have dishes from breakfast that one of my kiddos that's on breakfast hasn't done that yet, so they're still there. Some things that need putting away, fruit, the French bread from this morning hasn't been put away, aprons that need to be folded and put up, some flowers that are decaying that my daughter picked that need to probably go to the chooks now. And you know, like this morning's French toast casserole needs to be put up. There are things still happening here. And once or twice a day, this area gets an overhaul. It gets cleaned and tidied and things put away. But often when I come in, there is lots going on the bench tops. There's bread fermenting and rising. There's a couple of very unattractive looking scrap buckets that we fill for the chickens that come and go throughout the day. Eggs that need sorting and tidying. There's always something going on, but it reminds me a lot of just the need to I guess keep things real, but at the same time I don't want to live in chaos, and I do think it is a good thing to strive to create beautiful spaces in your home. I'm just heating the pan to start the pikelets. But so I was saying Sally Clarkson, I've read a lot of her stuff and listened to her podcast, found her very, very helpful, honestly, to me, as I have over the years been trying to make a home that is a safe haven for my children and for my husband, and a place of peace and a place of joy and beauty. I think there is something really good about creating beautiful spaces, and I think it's undervalued in our current climate where everything is all about function and less about beauty, and that beauty in and of itself is something worthwhile. I think, you know, we were created by a God of beauty and a God who created beauty, and it is something that I really strive for, but at the same time don't want to be ruled by, in so much as I have no peace in my heart because my kitchen is in chaos, you know, at different times throughout the day. And it's a hustle and a bustle. It's a workspace. So I guess what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that we need to find that balance. And oftentimes I think back to my granny's kitchen, which I'm going to pop this down and keep talking while I put the first pikelets on. So my granny had just a simple little farm kitchen. I need a knife. On our family property. We lived on the block next door, and I spent a lot of time over there as a little girl. A lot of time standing in her kitchen watching her. Now, she was not the kind of lady that you got in her way. She was rather austere. She was busy. Okay, I'm just going to pop a dollop, just with a tablespoon at a time. So yes, Granny was a serious kind of lady. You didn't want to get in her way, but she didn't mind me standing at the end of the kitchen watching her. And I used to love to do that. I used to love to watch her and see what she was doing. And her kitchen was not fancy. It was a very simple, quite small farmhouse. So this spoon was hers. And every time I pick them up, I've got a few of them, and I can just picture, I see her little old arthritic knuckled hands stirring and whipping and bustling around that kitchen. So I'm just going to use those to I've used the back of the spoon to flatten them out a little. But her kitchen over the years has been a great source of inspiration, and especially since I've been wanting to grow things from scratch, and I've thought more about the old ways and the ways things have been done in the past. And I've thought back to those days of standing there watching. She had an old slow combustion stove, and she had an electric stove as well, but she had the wood stove and did a lot of her cooking on it. She had a little larder. I remember seeing her Christmas puddings hanging in the larder that she had made and boiled. Okay, these, see how they're getting the bubbles? They're about ready to turn. I'm just going to flip these over. So they're kind of goldeny on top, and we'll cook the underneath ones. So, and I know I tend to be quite sentimental and nostalgic, and there's a lot of fondness associated with those memories. You know, I can smell her kitchen, and it was just a simple little, it had a lino floor, it was old, but she would bustle around that kitchen and create masterpieces. I've said before, she was known in the valley as her kitchen was the place of good puddings. And I'm like, what a beautiful thing. I can hear the creaky old screen door going out the back to where the veggie garden was, down past the hydrangeas. You know, so many beautiful memories. Anyway, I digress. The whole point is her kitchen was not fancy. She didn't decorate it. Okay, just gonna put the next lot on.
Yeah, you only use that because it's a pikelet.
Yes, they're pikelets. Okay, so how do we tell when these are ready to flip?
They're bubbling.
They're bubbling. This one here is bubbling more than this one, so this one might need more time, yeah? Just be careful not to burn yourself and go over the top. Yep. So if you drop a bit, do it on that, and then you can smooth it around to make a little circle. Try the next one. Whoa, you got to bring the bowl over. That's okay. You got to bring the bowl over a bit more. Try it again over here. Bring the bowl over. Oh, you might just not have enough height. Good boy. You got it. Good boy.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. Good job. As I was saying, I don't want to emulate everything about my granny's kitchen. She was very stern, and children were not really welcome to run through there. And I want my kitchen to be a place where the children can run through and participate, and I can teach them. And she definitely didn't really have the patience for that. Mind you, I don't know how much of that is colored by the fact that for a lot of my childhood, she was quite sick. So I didn't know her terribly well when she was in full health. So that may have played a big part in that. I'm not sure. Okay, these are ready to be flipped. So as much as I have these beautiful fond memories and things that I want to learn and replicate, I also, you know, there are parts of that I'm like, yeah, we can change that up. We don't want that to be the same. Okay, so here are our pikelets. I'm going to put a little bit of jam on that. This actually, maybe someone will know. My neighbor gave this to me. It is mayhaw jelly. I'm not sure if mayhaw is a fruit or...
Is it a tomato?
It says Gourmet Gardens mayhaw jelly. Anyway,
is it a tomato?
It does not have corn syrup. No, it's not tomato. Oh, because
why does it have a picture of tomato?
Yeah, I think that's just the brand. Anyway, the boys have whipped some cream to go on top. So we're going to fix these up for morning tea. We have jam and cream on our pikelets.